Hi folks, Moxie here. Just wanted to review my account after a year of playing Genshin and $50 in, which is about 6 walk-in and 2 battle passes. You can see the lifetime polls on Paimon.moe here. And the reason I mained this account was I did actually 42 rerolls, but this one had Venti and Skyward Atlas early. And then once the Klee banner dropped, I tried polling a few times and got her very early as well and decided to main it. I actually was maintaining about 6 accounts basically at that point, but you know, just coming in doing the dailies, not really actually doing the whole main story or hourly commitment. But it was quarantine time, so we actually had a lot of free time. And as you can see, I actually got very lucky with Zhongli as well and Ganyu as well. And then finally Raiden Showing, which I'll go into a little more once we hop over to the account right now. And boop, here we are. AR 57, and this party is just basically from like highest to lowest investment. So start off with Zhongli, my main man. If you notice his ratios are a little wonky, it's just because he's usually paired with Geo MC, gets 10% more crit rate, and then with a crit rate card and the Abyss, usually there's usually one on the 12th floor. He's really good as like a bruiser type, along with being able to provide a pretty decent shield as well. And just quick over his artifacts here. Feel free to pause the video if you want to look at a particular artifact. But I did spend about 7 weeks in the Geo domain, hence I have a lot of good Geo pieces, as well as you know, doing the weeklies as well. And I noticed just because he has that HP main stats along with Homa and close to 30k HP, with a level 12 on his E skill, the shield, he can, you know, pretty much tank like 10,000 damage, which is plenty enough for the Abyss, even for a person like me who has boomer hands and can't dodge that well. So plus he reminds me of my friend, so handsome guy, you know, a little taller, get that broad shoulder look. And next up is my one of 2 waifus that I love, is Raiden Showing here. She's invested pretty heavily right now. She's using the Primordial Jane Wingstaff, and if you notice, she only has 60% crit rate, and I think that's plenty for Raiden Showing to use, because then you can just invest harder into the other substats like crit damage and energy recharge. Ideally, you're going to have 200% or more energy recharge, because when I notice she's on a solo electro character on a team, she kind of needs at least that much to maintain her alt status and similar. Hence why, like, I've, you know, went from this and that. But oddly enough, a lot of the energy recharge substat is just as good as crit damage, especially if you roll well on it, because you know, diminishing returns for everything. But as you can see, she's got some great pieces, and that's because, you know, I didn't roll on a Yoimiya or Ayaka banner on this account at all, and the reasoning was then the other account can do that and get more characters, and this account can just kind of just be very strong. But because of that, I have quite a few good pieces that almost worked out together to be like a little more damage. Like this one's technically a little more damage if I swap from the Sands here to the ER one, but having an ER Sands makes her ultra comfy to play, especially if she's, again, that solo electro, and most of my other goblets unfortunately are pretty copium. Like this one is very nice, but that's on Sara right now, and I would normally go to this one, but again, just need a little extra energy recharge. She's really comfy at 230 or 200% roughly, especially if you auto attack with her a lot. And then my second waifu that I invested hard in is Ganyu here. She has actually quite ideal ratios, except for the attack a little bit I could use more. And the Black Cup Warble is partially responsible for it, but even without that it would be very good. But funny story is, I built the Black Cup Warble, or got it, because I was out of prototype belays for the for Ganyu, and it's funny because like within a week, I think the next week, I got one to drop, but by then I already made Black Cliff Warble level 90, so it was pretty crazy that way. And you know, this is very, very good luck. She's got high crit damage as well as crit rate because, you know, 20% from her passive and 15% from cryo resonance really makes her ideal. But funny thing is, again, the Wanderer's Troop was also like that, where the 4-piece set was literally just behind the fact of a Bolide set or a Blizzard Strayer set. The Blizzard Strayer set I've spent 5 weeks on, and then ironically I got so frustrated there that I just ended up using Bolide Ganyu with Melt version, which was quite strong. And most of those artifacts are here on Klee, which is like my 4th invested character. She has Skyralis, but so funny enough, this was like Ganyu set for a very, very long time. Because if you notice, the goblet I got lucky on for both sides that, you know, you could have pyro or cryo very easily. But after I got Bolide and I did like just one run on the Spiral Abyss, I got lucky again with the baalin drop for Wanderers, and that's pretty much what completed Ganyu out. Speaking of Ganyu, just to double back real quick, her and Raiden Showing are the only 2 characters that I have crowned on this account, despite having basically been playing since, well, not day 1. So that's how slow sometimes the resets come for budget players a lot of times. And we'll just quick show Venti. Nothing special, they're just running the Virvinus set, and I could optimize them a little more, but I found just having enough ER and, you know, vacuum power, that's all you really need. Probably my next most invested support is Bennet here, and not particularly anything special in terms of the stats because this is again a budget account, but it's funny because then, you know, you can see that I've gotten very lucky for the Noblesse pieces that I have here. A lot of the crit rate on a lot of them, except for this one obviously, and even this Pyro Cup was pretty decent for ER because really what I was struggling was getting the inputs fast enough because I kind of have been playing on controller and my hands are a little old. So it was very nice to play around with a higher ER with Bennet, just to have that cushion for particles and stuff. My next character that's invested, I would say, is Diona here, and she's just an HP build, and it's mostly because I actually didn't get a sacrificial bow until the ball banner, and I just leveled it for Sara, which I'll explain later, but because of that I was using the recurve bow for a very long time on Diona just to make her a good shield bot. And you know, she's the 2nd best shielder in the game besides Zhongli, and pair it with Xingqiu and you get close to like a 7,000 HP shield that goes up to like 10,000 HP with the Xingqiu damage reduction, which is very nice. So it ends up being very, very, very comfy when you use her like that. The next character I'm working on obviously is Sara. Kind of like a Bennet, but clunkier. I'm really hoping that eventually I get Constellation 6 on her. So hopefully the next 10 pity as well as the soft pity that's coming up, which I'll do a video for, is gonna let her drop. But currently rolling for Vonius Warbow. Like I said, I did have the sacrificial bow option, but I noticed actually having that extra neutral particle, especially for Raiden Showing, was makes her very comfy to play, especially if I mess up the rotation or similar, because I tend to be kind of a spastic player as I panic or don't strategize in the abyss. But she's basically wearing the emblem set just to that was like the off pieces of ball, which is kind of like a general theme here. And that's probably like the most invested character besides Beidou here, which is an HP shield bot with tenacity and emblem. And the reason why I don't use Beidou is because she's not C6, but also in addition to the whole not working with Raiden Showing very well. But if you notice, she actually is a great shield bot because for the 15 seconds of her ult, she gets that shield with C1+, and also damage reduction. Pair with Xingqiu, which is a great electro team for Raiden Showing, and you get a very nice electro charge team that has one slot free for an emo character, which is hard to do for the shred a lot of times without sacrificing the shield. So if you want to play something a little off meta like that, feel free. Xingqiu, I wish I had known his power earlier and invested a little harder, but Unfortunately, he is just fine the way he is because I still end up 36 starring Abyss with this account just because there's no need. Eventually you get Constellation 6 and the talents you need, and Xingqiu just has super high values no matter what you look at, and very, very good account that way. Finally, the last character I invested hard in is Geo MC, and they have really good ratios because of the Black Sword, one of the 2 battle passes that I got, and artifact-wise, they got the leftover pieces for Zhongli, which are very, very good, but the reason why they're so good is because I can actually use this Lava Walker piece, which has an insane amount of crit rate, and it's one of my first few pieces I think I got around AR 46 or 47, and it's been great just as an off piece. Like, I'm not sure if this account is lucky that way, because I end up getting more goblets that I'm fine being like kind of copium pieces, and the feather end does being the off piece a lot of times, and so it's great that way. And with the GOMC, they can generate so many particles that they really only need 120 ER, especially with the Zhongli pairing, and they can do like 36k or 32k basically every 6 seconds, which is phenomenal. I did want to mention Lisa real quick. I really liked her for showcases just because of this shred that she has, but unfortunately they nerfed or fixed her press E skill, and if you use your press E hold E, it was viable to kind of make a damage quickstop showcase, as it were. But without the with the time now that she has to literally just hold E forever, no matter what, is kind of potato. And finally, I just want to mention that if you have play on controller and you accidentally hit a triangle when you're looking at the battle pass, like I did, thinking that it was going to claim the resources that were not picked out, it automatically picks the serpent spine for you. And that's why I have a level 1 serpent spine and a C6 razor that's really not being used, just because while I did like the Unga Bunga style, I had to decide between Zhongli and razor to build up, and I chose Zhongli just because I didn't like the Claymore style as much, and Crescent Pike was a very, very good investment, especially if you're a budget player. But eventually I got so lucky with all the spears, obviously, here. And I think that's really it in terms of the account that I want to show off. Those are kind of like the best characters as well. You can look at the weapons, obviously, here. I want to just take a glance. Sacrificial fragments, bow, that sort of thing is really nice. Some of the stuff I just keep as spares just in case, because eyes turn me on to this. So yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for, or gals or circles, for listening. I really appreciate every one of you who enjoyed this, and hopefully we'll see you again. Maybe, well, not when the year's up, or a little before then. Alright, well, thanks for watching again. Bye-bye.